All right, tell me what's been going on then. So in terms of the last time I communicated with you, Ant, we were looking at that track, which, as you guys have seen, you've both seen the video, yeah? So I was going over that, because I think it's a really, really good tune. And how did you feel about the comments I came back with?
Completely agreed with everything that you said. Like the intro of the track definitely needed something to kind of elevate it so that the listener, or if someone was dancing to it in a club, for instance, could kind of feel the fact that there was going to be a drop at some point.
Yeah,
the next 50 bars or so. Yeah,
when you're writing tracks, it's like sometimes it's quite hard to sort of always cater for the club, and I think when you're writing an album, sometimes you don't always want it to be very specifically for a club. So in some respects, that particular song, if you were to have it on an album, it would actually sound good with the kind of intro that you've got being quite calm.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like when you're doing tracks like that, what I'd always suggest to you is basically to bounce the stems out and keep them, so that in the future, if you need to get kind of like program the album together, that you've got elements that are slightly different that allow you to slot that into more of a kind of album structure. So that's what I'd suggest. Do the club mix, obviously focus on getting it for the club, but also have the elements ready so that if you needed to do, say, a 4-minute album version, that you'd have the ability to get a bit more constructive with it, or even, of course, keep the whole project session there so that you can refer back to that. So I mean, what are you guys trying to do? Are you trying to write an album at the moment? Is that pretty much what it is?
We're trying to write a demo. We're trying to get 4 or 5 solid songs together, and then pass that on to a few labels, to our management and stuff. So we're not necessarily looking to write 30, 40 tracks.
Yeah.
And narrow that down to an album. We're focusing on a demo.
Right, okay. So how many tracks have you got together so far? I mean, have you got sort of like a bigger pool and you're trying to narrow it down to a small amount?
Yeah, we've got 12 finished vocal tracks.
Right, okay.
A couple of them are more club orientated tracks, which is more focusing on the instrumental side of things, with for instance a hook from Susie that's been cut up throughout the track, or it's been used in a couple of different sections. Kind of, I guess, more on a I don't know, something more like Ways and Odyssey, the kind of thing they're kind of doing with cut vocals.
Okay.
As opposed to a more songy kind of thing.
Right. So is that a deliberate kind of vibe that you're going for at the moment?
No, I think it's just taking it, like, they're just one of the influences I personally have as a producer, but I think we've both got it in the back of our minds that we need to write tracks that cater for kind of different DJs, like specifically for radio or for club. I know, without waffling, I guess it's a case of having material that branches out in enough direction to showcase what we're capable of within the 6 months that we've been working on this.
Right. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the music stuff that you were doing before then. What was going on? Were you in a band or a group or something?
Yeah. We were doing more like drum and bass, dubstep with a bit of dance in there.
Okay.
So this process has been totally new, starting writing a new genre of music that we've not really written together before. So
okay. And what do you tend to start with when you're writing songs? Do you start with some kind of melodic thing, or is it beats, or?
At the moment, it's mainly. I think you'd probably agree, Susie, but it's mainly the more melodic parts of beats that I'll for instance come to the studio and work on something and then send it over to Susie and see what she thinks. It's mostly the melodic ideas that then she can take an influence off, and then once I've got a vocal idea as to how she's going to kind of take it, unless I've started writing, for instance, a different section or more of the basis of the track, it normally, the vocal kind of triggers the rest of the track.
Right. So is it kind of like Susie lays down the vocals and then you're almost kind of remixing
in a way?
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to do is literally sit down with a piano and write tracks, and then translate them to beats. But I think that'd be really interesting to see, because obviously it's a very different way of working as opposed to writing a beat and having a vibe.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we've said from day one doing Mediate, it doesn't matter what the song is played on. If the hooks and the vocals and the chords all work well together, then as long as there's a song there that's strong enough, then it doesn't really matter how it's translated.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure. That track that I looked at the other day, would you say that's one of the pool of the kind of the main tracks that you're wanting to put forward at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I thought it was really good, and it's interesting. You look at the results, the comments coming back. There've been some really positive ones so far. Have you exposed your music to the public in any form yet?
No.
Okay.
That was the first taster that we gave anyone. So it's wicked to see the comments.
Yeah, okay, well, that's good. I mean, what I would probably suggest is that you keep quite a fair amount of it locked down, probably for a period of time, because you don't want to give everything away and let everybody know everything that you're up to. I think it's good to sort of let little bits here and there out, and it's like you can keep all that other stuff as a little bit of a mystery, and keep developing your sound and working on whatever you're working on. And I think there's definitely space for a couple like yourselves out there. I think in terms of the market, I think you've seen how acts like Disclosure are doing well, and Aluna George. There are these almost kind of like this English club sound. I think is getting a lot more recognised around the world now. I mean, that the EDM, it's not really a very nice way of describing music, but it is used by them over in America at the moment. And so club music that we know is very big over there, and there's lots of potential. If you wanted to kind of go out and tour, you look at these guys, look at the amount of gigs they're doing, and it's just staggering. They're away every weekend and they're performing several gigs every week. So there's a lot of potential there. And so if you guys can hone your sound and get everything really packaged really nicely, who knows? I mean, there's tons of potential out there. And if that's what your ambitions are, it seems to me that you seem to be quite prolific. Is that a fair assumption? Do you are you writing quite a lot of stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we feel like we have just been locked away for ages.
Right.
So we obviously miss playing live, but we want to get the material right first. We don't want to just go play something that we don't believe in 100%. So
sure. And so is the plan to take it on a kind of stage thing? So it's probably going to be and you'll be looking after some kind of technology stuff, and then Susie's going to be singing. Is that what you're going to be looking at?
Yeah, I won't be anywhere near the technology stuff. I'll leave that all to you.
But I mean, you can see that a duo would work. I mean, you see that sort of thing can definitely work on stage. So it's definitely something to go for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of writing, I mean, obviously we originally hooked up because of that demo track that I put out, and so I had the demo that you guys have put together, and I really like it. So is this something that you plan on doing with others as well? So as well as concentrating on what you're doing with Mediate yourselves, are you collaborating with other people as well?
Yeah, we've got a few things in the pipeline at the minute. But yeah, I think it's really important to sort out collaborations so that you're not just stuck in your own kind of bubble, if you like. Just trying things and work with different people and learn from different people. So
yeah, I mean, for me, definitely. I mean, I've been working on my own for a long time, and I've definitely started getting bored of working on my own. So I've been reaching out to a few people, so I'm definitely looking forward to collaborating on some other stuff as well. Because it's, I don't know, I've created so many tracks and I've just got into the same kind of routine, and it's quite nice to challenge yourself in a little bit. And you never know what's going to come out. I don't know if you guys know, but I was part of a production team called Spiritual South, and we put out some stuff. It was about, I'm trying to remember now, 2004 to about 2006, 2007, and it was really heavily supported by the left field sort of eclectic scene. So we had a lot of support from Giles Peterson, some of the tunes like Benji B as well, so more of a kind of eclectic world music influenced club sound, and that went really, really well, and it was great, and we worked on a lot of really good tunes, and we ended up doing quite a lot of remixes for labels and got real kind of hype on it, but something just didn't gel for some reason at some point in the whole process towards the end, and I think maybe we spent too much time working together. And now I've had a big break from collaborations. I've been working on my own for several years. I'm definitely looking forward to doing some collaboration, so I'm really interested to see what happens with what you guys are doing with the vocal on my track, but also as I've said, I'm happy to help out with advice and stuff if I can, for you guys, because it's great content for my channel. And I don't know if you saw the Collaborate and Learn series, which is something that I did with this guy Steve, and so that was this kind of like one-to-one mentoring thing, because I don't know everything, but I've definitely built up a lot of kind of experience, so hopefully I can pass something on that could be helpful. I'm not necessarily going to get everything right all the time, but there may be something that I could tell you, maybe 2 in 6 things that I tell you are going to be worthwhile. You never know, but it's I think it's quite interesting because of the technology, the fact that I can reach out to people that are a long way away and help out in this way, so it's good stuff, So in terms of progressing with the track, have you managed to work on it anymore, the song? I'm trying to remember what it was now, the hook, something to do with fire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did it know?
So have you managed to do any more on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what have you managed to do? Have you managed to do a verse, or?
We've done. I've done the same structure that I did before.
Yeah.
But just changed a few things around.
Okay.
So I've not changed it drastically, but.
Yeah. But. I mean, do you find when you're writing your lyrics that that you're sort of kind of telling a story, or is it more kind of hook based?
I think I do more telling a story, I think.
Yeah, okay.
It just comes out. Sometimes it doesn't mean to come out like that, but it does. So.
Yeah. I mean, this track I think would definitely work with probably a couple of verses and then some kind of hooky chorusy thing, and the structure of the demo that I sent, don't feel that you have to follow that precisely, because there is a section with a synth. It's kind of like sustained notes, and that might be a little bit of a distraction, because I was wondering maybe that could be something as a middle eight, something a little bit different, or it could flow in exactly the same way, whichever works. But I know what it is with a lot of contemporary tunes these days. If you take things too complicated too early, it can be a bit distracting. So just having something repetitive with enough variation is sometimes good enough. And then just at the point when you think that it's got a little bit too, locked into the same groove, that's when you switch it up, and then you can return back to the original groove, and then people really appreciate it. That's the whole thing about it. But, it's funny with club tunes and songs, because, radio songs are like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. Club tunes are kind of obviously a lot longer under normal circumstances, so it's a funny one when you hear club tunes and they do get played on the radio, because often they feel just really short, don't they? It's almost like it's too intense. So it's quite hard to get the balance right, but I think sometimes with a radio club tune you've got to go a little bit longer, maybe 4.5 minutes, so. But actually, I've heard on radio they've done some brutal chops. I mean, some songs like on Kiss FM, for example, they'll take the complete tune, and then someone at the radio station will just take chunks out, and then they'll just glue it together. So you end up with something that is great for 3 minutes, you know, for them. But if you're the writer, you're like, wait a minute, what have you done with my track? You know, and it's like, it's almost take like artistic license in terms of what they're doing, how they present the tracks. But with radio, it's about just attention span and just keeping everything really lively all the time, you know. So you never know what happens. I'll never forget, there was a track that I did years ago. It was probably one of my early ones from about 94. And the label thought it was going to do really well. So we took it to the studio and they took the whole stereo tune. And it was, 7 minutes? And then it was turned into 3.5 minutes. Like, no multi-track components, just blunt chops.
Wow. To
create this short version. And, you know, I mean, if you listen to it for the first time, you'd be thinking, yeah, that's fine. But for me, when I knew the track in its original format, it was just weird to have these sections taken out, you know, and condensed. But, you know, I think, you know, you've got to have something that's really snappy for radio. So that was the whole vibe there. Right. So, what do we do next? What's kind of like the next step for you guys with the track? So the one that, you know, you're writing to, are you going to send a demo with some more vocals on it? Is that the plan?
Yeah. We'll send you an updated version and then see what you think, get your feedback on that, and then take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. Because what I'm not doing is letting anybody hear that at the moment, you know, so publicly on the channel, I'm not going to let anybody hear what's going on, because I think it's one of those things where if we're going to be doing development stuff, potentially maybe I'll record some stuff, but it's something that I won't put public until the time when the track's out, you know. So that's what I think would probably be the best idea for this one. With the other track, you know, the track that you guys have written, I think it's been really good to expose that, and I think it's probably as much as you need to do really at the moment, you know, in terms of letting people hear what you're up to, until the point when you're going to put something out, maybe. But then again, you know, I might suggest to you in a couple of weeks, look, let everybody hear this, you know, because it's a funny thing when it comes to promotion and social media. Sometimes it's kind of best to go on gut instincts, and if something feels like it's the right thing to do, just to go and do it, you know. And so it's a very fluid kind of situation, really, at the end of the day. So I think we'll just see how it goes, really. You know. So, all right, cool. Was there anything you guys wanted to talk about?
Not really. I mean, just I guess thanks for the support so far. I mean, it was a bit overwhelming for us, even just have just those few comments on the YouTube page. That, I mean, we've been in the studio every single day for the past 4 months, working. We've got a really good body of work together that needs to be kind of reworked and effectively brought to a professional standard. Yeah. But just to get a bit of kind of kudos for what we're doing is a great confidence boost. So yeah, thanks for the exposure, and no,
that's cool. I mean, you know,
it's nice to know that like hopefully we are going down the right route.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I actually enjoy listening to what you guys are doing. So there is, it's almost like there's a kind of DNA in there that I understand, and I think, you know, you guys probably understand the DNA of the stuff that I've done over the years, and so there's like a core kind of element to the music. So when I listen to what you guys are up to, it just makes perfect sense, and it's almost like it's talking the same language, you know. So I couldn't do this with anybody if I didn't feel that same kind of pull towards the sound. So it's just ended up that it's worked out really well. It could have been that there was another, you know, couple of people that I could have done this with, and I could be sitting at the moment thinking, man, how am I going to get out of this situation? I don't want to work with them anymore, you know. So it's worked out really good. So like I said, it's all been about kind of following gut instinct and just going with it, you know, because I think, you know, your sound is really good. For me, it's kind of like it's like a very contemporary version of the stuff that I would have listened to a while ago. See what I mean? You know, the kind of like 90s and even the kind of early 2000s kind of music, you know. So the soulful deep house stuff, but very futuristic. I think that's the key, because if it's just straight up kind of soulful stuff, it can sound a little bit bland and kind of like dad house music. Do you know what I mean? Which is you know, that's a thing for a lot of people. But I think what you guys are doing is presenting that kind of mature sound, but with a kind of a futuristic electronic kind of glossing. There's kind of like that contemporary edge to it, which I think is really good, you know. And you know, when you look at the comments back on the track that you guys put together, it's like, you know, you've got people picking up on the bass line, on the groove, and also the vocals, you know. So you can't really go wrong there, because that's pretty much, you know, both of you wrapped up into the track, isn't it? You know. Mm-hmm. So it works well. But I've got to say, Ant, I don't know what you're doing with the vocals, but I really like the processing. I think it's really interesting. Yeah. It's got kind of like spacey kind of vibe to it, and so I think that's quite a good thing to carry on with. Yeah. For the stuff that you're doing, because I think what it does is it defines a sound. You know, when you listen to a track, you know, and you hear it for the first time, sometimes you can place it with an act, or you can place it with a producer, and that's actually quite a hard thing to get a sound that people recognise for being a particular name. So I think that's the thing to do, to keep going on those routes, you know, in terms of, you know, the music that you're doing, the processing on the vocals. I think that defines the sound of what you guys are, you know. So yeah. I think you know, just carry on with that. I think it's working really well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, look, I am going to have to dash, right? Because I don't want to be carrying this on too long and waking my daughter up, because I can hear that she's asleep now. So let's try and hook up again at some point. Send me the vocals on the, you know, send me the new demo. And I know, Susie, that you've tried to do the spend the night thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough time to evaluate that properly. Okay. But what I plan on doing is on bringing the single back, because, you know, I've got the rights to it. And so I'm thinking of doing a brand new version. Right. So not doing a remix, or, you know, doing a version based on the original as it was. I'm thinking of doing a brand, like literally with the same hook, but with an elaboration around it. So the original hook was just really simple. It was just the "Wanna Spend the Night with You" vocal. And there are a few other little ad-libs, but I'm talking about probably a verse that's original, that's brand new, and then the chorus. So that's what I'm thinking about. And in terms of the vibe musically, I'm not 100% sure just yet, but I've definitely got some ideas. They're pretty much in my head at the moment. So what I need to do over the next couple of weeks is try to get those down, and then probably what I'll have is something that you could sing to again, which is going to be easier to sing to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I can definitely hear the potential there, but I need to shape up the back end a bit more. That's basically where we're at.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's about it really. Cool. Just keep on doing what you're doing. It's all good. And I mean, we'll stay in touch. We talk on Twitter and everything, so it's all fine. And just, you know, whenever you're ready with the demo with the new vocals, just send them over, and I'll take a listen.
Yeah. Great. All right. Thank you very much, Danny.
And you said that you were going to be coming down to London at some point. So have you got any idea when that is?
I'm not too sure at the moment. I'm going to try and arrange a couple of meetings whilst I'm down there, because our management are based down there.
Okay.
And maybe try and get some kind of a DJ gig down there, even possibly promoting Mediate, because at the moment I think it's not important for us to be doing more DJ-based gigs, even if it's just myself.
Yeah.
We have got a couple of bookings in the summer over in Ibiza.
Yeah.
Just being confirmed at the moment. So
okay, well that's good. Yeah.
So yeah, just
because you could even do it with you just spinning and then Susie doing vocals on top every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were thinking about how we would do it live, but we'll come to that step when we get there.
Yeah. I mean, I would say only do the proper live thing when you're ready. You know, in the interim, you could just do something that is spinning your tracks on CDs or on, you know, Traktor, whatever, and then Susie doing some live stuff on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the starting point. And then when you're ready and you've done the rehearsals, taking it on, doing like a proper, you know, a live thing, you know.
Getting an orchestra in the choir.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it's good to be ambitious. You never know. Someone might have the money to throw at you. Maybe some real rich person really likes your music and then invites you for their birthday party. Yeah, it does happen, that sort of thing. It's quite funny. Right, all right then. So that's good. And what I'll do is I will get the video sorted, uploaded so that nobody else can see it, so you guys see it and you're happy with it. And then just give me a shout, and then I'll stick it up on the channel if that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Nice one. All right. Well, I'll speak to you soon, and have a good weekend.
You too.
And you.
All right then. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.